Hey everyone, it's Andy from Petrolhead. I've been driving this BMW i3s, brand new car. I've been driving it for the last week and I actually really like it. I think it's a cracking little car. But having said that, in true YouTube style, you've got to do the 5 things you hate about it. So here we go. Reason number 1, I'm not 100% in love with this car, is the rear doors. There's a lot of real benefits to those rear doors, but there's still a little bit of a pain. If you are in a car parking space, what I've realised is you need to park over one side of the parking space, and it's a very narrow car, so you can do that, and then you get into the back through the other side. People talk about opening the front door and then opening the back door and then wiggling yourself around, and it's not great. So I've found the best way of using them is to park a little bit over to the left, and then you get into the back through the driver's door, because then you can put the driver's seat forward and you've got a ton of space. I get my 3-year-old into behind the passenger seat from the driver's side, and it's brilliant. It's arguably even easier than going into a bigger car like the Tesla from that side of the car, because you've got such a big open space. However, it's a bit of a pain there. An ideal, like my dream car, which I was hoping the Tesla Model Y would be a smaller Tesla Model X with the Falcon wing doors, because the Falcon doors are bloody brilliant on a Tesla Model X, but the Tesla Model X is a really wide, big car. So something like that. Or do you remember the old Peugeots that had the sliding doors? I thought that was quite a slick setup. That would be perfect for car parks. As it is, it's very usable, and I'm nitpicking with all these 5 points really. But yeah, the doors are not perfect, but you can still live with them. So yeah, told you, nitpicking. So point number 2 about why I'm personally don't think this is a perfect car, but realistically what car is. The technology, it's good, and you know, the iDrive I actually really like. I think it works well. It's just a bit archaic. The maps are, and I'm being a bit unfair on the car because I'm, you know, coming from a Tesla, the maps are amazing. You know, you've got zoom with just your fingers, gorgeous Google Maps satellite imaging. So coming into this, it just feels like you're going back 5, maybe 10 years. But then, you know, Tesla is a tech company, so you're gonna get the latest technology in a car like the Tesla. This works, you know, it's very usable. DAB works great. We haven't plugged in an iPod or similar yet. You've got Bluetooth, you can do audio through that. The sat nav's fine. It does the job. So in a way, it is a bit nitpicking this. So I personally think it is fine, it does the job, but again, when you compare this as a brand new car at over 40 grand to a Tesla Model 3, it's easy to see why I think that the Tesla Model 3 is just gonna just wipe the floor with this. However, the advantage you've got is the i3 hasn't changed very much. Although you've got different battery packs, they did a facelift last year, which is what this i3s has. But you can go back and get a very early i3, and the central screen's a bit smaller, but other than that, it's very, very similar. So if you're buying second hand, then that pays into its favour. And obviously you can't compare a 16 to 18 grand i3 with a 35-40 grand Tesla Model 3. It's a completely different price bracket. So, you know, that's pretty cool that you can still buy an old i3 and get a very similar experience to what this brand new car has. So that's pretty cool. So point number 3, why this BMW i3s isn't perfect is, and this is a bit tough, it's a bit bumpy over bumpy roads. If you get a certain type of road, you do find the car's a bit pogoing forward and back. It's just because it's a small car. I really am nitpicking here. You can't expect a Tesla Model X. You can't expect a you know, a small city car to handle, you know, like a big car. It's just not fair. But it does bump a bit. You know, it's got very small narrow tyres, it's got a small wheelbase, so if you do get a bit of a bumpy road, you do find yourself doing this a bit. This is the i3s though, so it's got bigger alloy, it's got stiffer suspension, it's got, I think the tyres a little bit wider as well. So maybe on a standard i3 that's not really a concern. So maybe if we were to buy one, you'd go for the standard one. And to be honest, the cost of these brand new is a lot. You know, you're looking at over 40 grand for a fully loaded one. And again, I'm sounding like a Tesla fanboy here, and I'm really not. I'm quite critical of Tesla, but at the same time I think they're amazing. Model 3's coming out. Would you spend 40 grand on one of these, or 40 grand on a Model 3 with all the other benefits, you know, full self-driving, software updates, everything else? I couldn't. I'd go for the Tesla. But I can fully appreciate why people do like these cars enough to spend 40 plus grand on them, because they are very likeable. So yeah, bit bumpy over roads, but that's just the downside of a small car. So point number 4 about why I don't think the i3s is perfect is this steering wheel. It's a bit thin and a bit small, but then I'm quite a big guy anyway, so you know, my wife hasn't mentioned the steering wheel at all. She seems quite content and isn't bothered by it. I know other reviewers have picked up on it, and actually now I'm more used to it, it feels, you know, completely fine. So this really is nitpicking, and this is always a sign of a good car when you're trying to find 5 things you don't like about it, and you're nitpicking and stuff like this. So yeah, it could still be bigger though. Right, point number 5, and this, in a similar way to my 5th point on my 5 things I love about the i3, the 5th point is to do about electric cars in general. I'm a big convert. I was looking at M5s and RS6s when I bought the Tesla. Very, very happy with the Tesla. I think it's a brilliant car. And I'm very, very happy being an electric car driver. I think it's brilliant. It's better for my health, better for my kids' health, better for the planet's health. It's also a lot more convenient and cheaper. So, you know, it's brilliant. But, you know, the charging networks are getting better all the time, but they're still not perfect. It's frustrating for someone new to electric cars to have to learn about memberships and carrying RFID cards and all that crap. And Tesla aren't perfect, you know. Tesla have got an amazing charging network, and only Teslas can use it. To be fair to Tesla, they have said if another manufacturer invests, then they will open it up to that manufacturer's cars. No one's done that, and I think that's fair enough. If you're not going to put the money in, you shouldn't be allowed to benefit from them. However, all the other networks, like Polar Chargemaster is one of the biggest. I've signed up to them a little bit reluctantly. I just think we all carry around credit cards. Just let us use them. Sure, have the memberships, but give the consumer the option just to slap their credit card down, pay, you know, a 10% premium and pay for your electricity that way. You know, electric cars are still 25% of the the cost in fuel as a petrol or diesel car. So, you know, £6, you know, instead of 24, even, you know, more than that, an extra, you know, 60 pence or something for the convenience of just rocking up to a charger and whacking on your credit card is simple. You've also got to take into consideration all the different styles of charger. Type 2's very common, but CCS, combined charging system, is quicker. You've also got CHAdeMO, which is starting to sort of not be so common. CCS is where the market is going. This car is a CCS. The Tesla Model 3 will be CCS, and that generally the fastest chargers have CCS now. So from a BMW i3 point of view, it's good. You can then just use a normal Type 2 cable or a tethered Type 2 cable like the Tesla one I have at home, and you can charge these at home. So, little mini rant, just everyone who is in control of a charging network, just let us use debit and credit cards, and just whack a little premium on top to cover your costs of having the ability to pay. You know, can you imagine going into a Morrison's petrol station and trying to pay with a BP card and then refusing it? Just wouldn't happen. Keep your loyalty, keep your loyalty points, give the loyal members a small discount, but just let us use credit cards. It's really easy. So there you have it. 5 things I maybe don't love. I wouldn't even say hate. You know, these are very small things. So the i3 is a brilliant little car. I really can't fault it in so many ways. Ironically, I'm just coming up to a charging phase, and these are 2 rapids, and they're both taken, which is a bit of a pain. But to be fair, they're both taken by electric cars. Well, one van and one Zoe, so that's good. So yeah, 5 things I hate, but it's really nitpicking. And hopefully this video has helped you understand a bit more about the i3 and why I think it's a cracking little car. So, will we buy one? I don't know. I think we'll be going to BMW soon to have a chat with them about what they've got. I'm not going to buy a new one though. I can't see the value in them at 40 grand. I think I'd rather wait 6 months and get a Tesla Model 3. But other than that, yeah, really cracking little cars. Hope you enjoyed this. Please subscribe, and feel free to drop me a message if you have any questions. Okay, cheers, bye.